Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Inês and I'm a visual artist and illustrator. I've recently watched the Wednesday series on Netflix and I actually really enjoyed it. I've always been a fan of the Addams family and of Tim Burton, so seeing the two coming together on this show really made me interested to watch it. I really loved the aesthetic of the show and I really wanted to do my take on the drawing and painting of Wednesday Addams. So I started by doing some sketching and exploring different features of Wednesday Addams and how I wanted the aesthetics of this painting to look like. I took some inspiration from the show, thus the incorporation of the piranhas and the cello and the beautiful bedroom window. I decided to add a deadly nightshade plant to the painting and making it almost fuse with the cello. I thought it appropriate by it being an extremely poisonous and lethal plant that is known for being one of the most toxic plants known, with just 10 berries thought to be able to kill an adult. But it is also an extremely beautiful plant with these black berries that I thought would suit Wednesday's dark look. So that's what I did in terms of the sketching, and then I just started using some watercolor, and I really wanted the painting not to be in black and white because I wanted to explore a little bit of the colors from the show and also related with Wednesday Addams. Even though I know most of the time Wednesday Addams is only associated with black, I really wanted to make sure the background wasn't black. I made the cello dark bluish purple, and I went basically back and forth in terms of the colors because I didn't want it to be very cheerful, obviously, because that's not Wednesday, but at the same time I didn't want it to be a boring just black and white painting. So I started by using watercolors, and in this case I didn't have a black watercolor with me. I thought I had it, but actually I didn't, so I had to improvise, and sometimes we have to do that, so it's not a deal breaker in terms of painting. So what I did was to use my watercolor pencil to do watercolor washes, and if I wanted like a more intense black, I would use also my watercolor markers that I also have that are soluble with water. I also had gouache that I used sometimes, but mainly for the true blacks that I wanted to do, like in her hair and in her garments, I used mostly India ink. So for details I would use sakura markers to do some details. I would use, as I said, some watercolor markers to do stronger washes of black, and in the really dark parts that I wanted in a painting I would use my India ink pentel brush markers, as I'm doing here. So sometimes you just have to be creative, because I thought I had everything under control when I started this painting, and then I understood that some things were missing, so I had to improvise. But actually I think it worked, and as long as you have a few different types of art supplies, you should be safe to do your own painting. So it was actually super fun to do this. As I said before in other videos, I'm not at all a very neat type of painter with a very neat process. I'm a bit chaotic, but I also consider myself as an intuitive painter and artist, so I will use whatever I have in my hand that I feel would work in the painting that I'm working on. And in this case I had gouaches, I had watercolors, I had watercolor pencils, watercolor markers, and ink, and also later on I will use watercolor and metallics as well for some accents. So it's just like, just have fun with your art supplies. Obviously, like, it's important to know the basics, it's important to know the process of doing a specific type of painting. So if you want to do watercolors, learn how to do watercolors properly. But sometimes you have to do your own thing, you know, like, it's your work and you're able to be creative as you want and use the mediums as you want, and then you will figure out how it works best for you. For instance, in this specific place, I was hating how it was looking in terms of the colors of the window. It's such a beautiful window and my colors were not matching as I wanted, and it was just messy at this point. But it's also a process, it's also a work in progress, and if I would give up every time I don't like a painting, I would always give up in the beginning as well, because it never looks right. So it will build up, and you should not just give up right at the beginning. So it's okay if it doesn't work, if you arrive at the end and you feel like, okay, this is not a painting that I'm very proud of. But at the same time, you've learned so much by doing that specific process that is always useful, even if you don't use that painting or drawing for anything. At least it's almost a study to know what you will not do next time that you do a painting, you know? So it's always a learning experience, and for me it was important. If it is perfect, not at all. I still have to improve so much, and I think that's the beauty of being an artist. You are constantly trying to improve your craft and just doing the best you can, but just don't beat yourself up too much. You're allowed to make mistakes and to learn from them. I think that's the main basis of being a good artist, is just like never settle in that feeling of I know everything right now. I'm already like at my prime in terms of being an artist. You could be, but if you think like that, you will definitely not improve as you should. So this plant actually was so much fun to do. Like, I did choose a Deathly Nightshade plant, as I said before, because I think it was the colors that I was very interested by, and the fact that the berries were black, so basically the end result of the plant, that is the fruit, were very dark, and they are very toxic and dangerous and poisonous. So I think it would suit so much the Wednesday personality, but at the same time it has the beauty of the flowers, that she also has a lot of beauty in her. So I think it was an incorporation of the different types of meanings of being poisonous, but at the same time having such a delicate beauty in her as well. So I think it was a choice that I'm actually proud of, and I think it suits the painting quite well, and the fact that it's fusing with the cello as well. So in here I was much more pleased with how the window was looking. It was looking more like a window than it was before. So yeah, see, sometimes it's just like you have to go back and forth, and then just add the details that will make all the difference when you finish your painting. So never give up. I also forgot to say that the Jelly Roll pens in white are a lifesaver in terms of details in white, just because sometimes it's so difficult to use the brushes to do like clear lines, like really thin lines. So I think it really is amazing that they work so well. So I did some finishing touches to the painting. I added some final details and made sure the whole painting was cohesive, and made sure to also give it a little bit of sparkle with the metallics. I did change Wednesday's expression because I thought she was looking too nice, so I think it looks much better now here. I think it has much more personality and suits her much more than before. And yeah, I was so pleased with this painting. At the beginning, as I said, I hated it, as I always do. But I didn't give up, and I think in the end, even though it's not a perfect painting, I still learned so much from it, and I think it incorporates what I thought of this character and this show. And I think even though she's dark and twisted at times, she also has a colorful side and a goodness in her heart within all that dark exterior. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!